Yeah, so hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and kindly subscribe guys if you haven't. We're on the road to 200 subscribers, and also thank you guys for those people who have subscribed. So this is day 2 of trading the funded next account. And guys, yesterday it was a bad day for me, honestly. If you have watched that video, yesterday I was almost like negative 2% in drawdown. So but one thing guys, trading should not really scare you, or should not be afraid of those losses. Reason why is if you have the right strategy, everything will eventually work out for you guys. So as you can see, this was the trade that made me that I lost on GU. And the reason why I lost this trade was because guys, I entered too early. I could have entered right here, because this is the trade I took yesterday and I recovered the loss. And also another UJ trade that I'm going to review, but let's first start with the GU trade, guys. So yeah, the reason why I entered this trade, or my thought process for this trade was, guys, you can see the blue trend line, this which starts from this point. Let me draw, guys, so that you can see. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, so let me draw, guys, so that you can see what I mean. So this was my first point that I drew that trend from. Second point, now when price starts that point, this was my first confirmation for those buys. So that is on the 1 hour. So I later went down to my 30 minutes time frame. That is now minor structure, and I drew this trend. I drew this Fibonacci from point A to point B. Point A to point B. So for this point A to point B, basically this is what I mean. From point A to point B, this is your first point A. This is point B. Price retraced. The price traded to this negative 61.8 of the Fibonacci levels, guys. And as you all know, negative 61.8 is my reversal. So if I see negative 61.8, I'm expecting reversals. So that was the second confirmation for those buys. Remember, the first one was this trend line that was right here. So my second confirmation was negative 61.8. So my third confirmation on this trade was on 15 minutes time frame. Yeah, it was on 15 minutes time frame. And the reason why I also had high hopes in this trade is because I knew that yesterday, I knew that yesterday the dollar would be weak and GU would be stronger, guys. So the reason why I entered this trade was this break and retest. It's not so much visible on the 15 minutes time frame, but this one was my trend line. This blue, not like that. So this blue trend line. I don't know why this thing keeps on showing. So this blue trend line. So that was this was a break. This was the retest right here, guys. Then I took an entry once I saw that okay, price is going up. Took that trade, and so my exit plan, or my exit point was these. We have these, guys. If you can see, we have this area of supply and demand. So normally once I see that, that's where I'm mostly targeting. That's where I'm looking for price to trade to. Yeah, so that was my trade for DU, and I made, I think, like 1% on this trade. I did not over risk, guys. So I made 1%. That was over that 5 pips. So let's go to find the next account and see that trade. Yeah, guys, and that's what I was telling you guys. If you make a loss, guys, don't be scared, because if you really believe or know your strategy very well, you always come back, guys. You always come back. Yeah. So I'm going to show you that trade. So yeah, so as you can see, guys, now we're currently in $163 profit, which is 0.65%. So at least now we are way past the the account balance when it was starting. So we made over 163, and this is the day four of trading this account. So yeah guys, we're still pushing, and so far so good guys, honestly, so far so good. And as you can see guys, my win rate is over 68.75%, yeah. So let me show you how the account started. So as you can see guys, we started this account on a very big drawdown guys. You can see like this account balance went up to $24,500 man, and that okay, that is not bad, because that was like 2%. Then I took this trade that I took right here, and we went back to break even, and then I got another trade. Now that's why we are at 0.8 something percent, so yeah. So that was the first trade that I took for GU trade, and I wanted to show you guys that trade right here. Yeah, but honestly guys, you can see we started Monday on a loss, Tuesday on a loss, then yesterday we made some good profit guys. Like yesterday, you can see, yesterday we made 2%, $529.69, so today we've made $200, so yeah, like small steps, but we're still in phase 1, and normally, I still believe that okay, we may pass this account maybe in the next 2-3 months. Yeah, so this was the first trade that I took, the GU trade, and which made me go back to break even guys. So let me show you, this was the second trade guys. The second trade was on USD JPY, and also another reason why I took this trade was as you can see on the 1 hour guys. Let's go back to the 1 hour. So if you can look at major like the whole major structure of 1 hour, which is point A, point B is here, retraces back to 23.60, then price went down. So for this, what I was normally looking at was price was at a negative 61.8 guys. Negative 61.8, I've told you it's my reverse where. So you can see price came, price retraced around that point, and once I saw that, okay, I was like, okay, let me wait for a proper break and retest, So once I started seeing, okay, like price is going up, I was like, let me wait for a proper break and retest on the 1 hour structure. And then I drew this trend line, I drew this trend line from point A, I drew this trend line from this point, price breaks, then retest, So this could have been my first trade guys, but I never took this trade. Why? It's because around this time, I was not supposed to be trading around this time, so that's one of the main reasons I never took this trade. So now around this time, this was my second confirmation of those buys. Once price retraced and retested back the trend line, so I went back on my minor structure, and I started looking at price, from a point of view, So also another reason why I started saying, okay, this could have been some possible buys. It's this orange supply and demand zone. Price, you can see there was a price tested this resistance, resistance, support, guys, resistance and support. So once I saw that was another confirmation for going long on this. Then coming back to the 15 minutes time frame, there's something we use, there's something called smart money concept guys. So if you've been trading with Michael ICT, there is something we call smart money concept basically. So for that, what I was looking at right here, also on the minor structure, the 15 minutes time frame, there was this break and retest, but I had already entered early here. Yeah, so we also have this, I normally don't use smart money concept, but This was also could have been another confirmation, guys. You can see this a fair value gap, price came, retested, filled that fair value gap, then from there price started skyrocketing. So my first target was this red trend line. That's my weekly foundation level. So that was my first profit target, and that's where I actually price it, and that's where I set my take profit. And yeah, that's why I also set my take profit. Yeah, so that was the second trade that I took, and I made over 39 pips on that trade, and I was risking over 27 pips. So that's a 1.4% trade, and normally that's a good trade, because that trade took me back to break even. Remember, guys, on the last video was minus 2% in drawdown. Then those two trades, which was the GU trade and now this USDJPY trade, went back took me back to break even. So my second my second entry would have been here. So you can see this blue trend line. This could also have been another entry confirmation, the break and retest of this blue trend line. But because I was still in like 1% drawdown, because I'd already made 1% from the GBP/USD trade, so I was left with 1% in drawdown. Yeah, so I could not have entered another trade because I only risk like 1%. Only risk like 1% of my account. So that could have been my second entry, but at least we still made money, guys, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, so today now I've also taken another trade on gold, and that's what you've seen me. I've made over. It was a 30 pip move, guys. I did not cut the whole move. I think I got out at somewhere around it was somewhere around 100 pips, somewhere around here, guys. Once it took this high, that's where I got out from. So yeah, so also let me tell you why I entered that gold buys. So as you can see on the 1 hour time frame, guys, so normally, as you can see, I normally trade mostly on the 1 hour time frame, guys. So you can see these guys. You can see this support and resistance. So normally I call it a supply and demand zone, and yeah, so price was also reached. I'd also touched supply and demand zone. And also, guys, looking at the major structure, which is the 1 hour, let me show you this, what I'm saying. We have this point A, point B, draw the Fibonacci, and price, guys, just look at the power of Fibonacci, guys. Price touched my negative 61.8, guys. And what did price do? Price rejected that level, and price started now going up. Price started buying. And so what once I saw this, I waited for price. I waited for price to give me a better confirmation for that buys. So I waited for that trade, and now let's go back to the 30 minutes time frame. So if you can see on the 30 minutes time frame, guys, we have an RSI divergence. I don't know if you guys can see. Price is going down, price is normally going down, and the RSI is going up. So that is another confirmation of, okay, price is reversing. Yeah, because I use the RSI divergence as a confirmation also, but it's not an entry confirmation, but it's one of my confirmation for entering a trade, or rather executing a trade. So yeah, and one thing I can also tell you guys is trading is very easy, but if you don't have your psychology right, guys, you lose a lot of money in trading. So now I went back to the 15-minute time frame, and I was like, okay, guys, I've already seen that price has hit my negative 61.8 reversal, and also we have another second confirmation, which is RSI divergence, and also price had touched or rejected the supply and demand zone. So I drew this trend line. I drew this trend line from this point. Let me use yeah. So I drew this trend line from this point. This was my first point, touched this point. So price broke, retested. Once I saw that price has retested that level, guys, I was like, okay, I'm going in, man. because once you have all your confirmations right, guys, there is no need to be afraid of getting into a trade, honestly, because you have your confirmation right here. So, and for this my target, my main target was, I also use Fibonacci for take profits, guys. So let me first show you what I mean. So for my target, once I saw price, once I entered here, I had to find a way, or rather a point where I could exit the trade. So I do this Fibonacci from point A to point B. Price retested my 38.2 Fibonacci level, and once I saw that, okay, I was like, yo guys, we're going up, because also that's another confirmation for these buys. The trend line, the RSI diverges in negative 61.8, and also the supply and demand zone. Guys, there's no reason to not enter this trade, honestly. So as I entered the trade, my first initial take profit was the negative 61.8, guys, and you can see how perfectly price touched the negative 27 take one profit. Then, guys, that was my first initial target. But once I saw, okay, price is once I saw this, I was like, let me take my profits here, because price had already given me like 80 pips, and I was like, yo guys, I'm not leaving 80 pips to the market, honestly. And as you can see, price is still going up, but I'm done for the day, guys. I'm taking this. I don't want to rush this account, because the more you rush, the more, or there's the likelihood of you blowing the account, and that's not one thing that I want, honestly. So that was another good trade that I entered, guys. So starting the week, we had like 2 losses, and now, guys, we past break even. We are at around 0.8%, and honestly, that's some good percentage, for the account. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to take another trade for the week, but if I find another good trade, I'm going to update you guys. So this is day 2 of trading the 25k funded next account, and yeah, so I'm going to give you an update of every single trade I take, guys. Every single trade I take. So kindly subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell icon. We're on the road to 200 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. It has been your boy Smurf. Take care, fam, and peace.